I am floored that this even works. Like, this shouldn't work, but it does. So you can do depth sensing, like monocular single camera depth sensing on AI art. And like, why? Why would it do that? It shouldn't be able to do that. That's like it hasn't been trained on AI art. It's only been trained on things that are tangible. And like, there's not a steampunk city in the real world. There's not a cyberpunk city in the real world. There's not an elven forest or a castle on a hill. Well, there are castles on hills and there are forests, but they are not like these painting like styles. And it can do it like, it doesn't care about painting. Like the first time I looked at mono depth, it was like hyper sensitive to like the type of camera that it was being filmed on originally. So like none of this would have worked. But the more recent algorithms, they can just generalize and do it with like any type of picture and any type, and like, so they work on AI art. I'm so surprised. Like, I would have never expected this to work. So I like kudos for like, that is a big find. And I'm just, okay, so I feel like I haven't even explained all the advantages of being able to do this. So things like normal mapping and bump mapping and a lot of lighting effects, you can now like use these depth maps to kind of bake into your actual textures and stuff. So like, you can add a level of like real reflectivity that just enhances everything. So like, most of the videos that I put out, like I think like 5 or 6, like can just be enhanced with this. So it's like, it's pretty big. And then on top of that, you can also do projection. So any sort of fantasy landscape, you can just like project into the world. And you do need to do some like finagling with conversion rate. Like, it's out of the box working pretty well. The lighting effects are also just ridiculous. At first I was really concerned that I was gonna run out of GPU memory, so I had all the settings set low, but then I just cranked them up and like, it all still works. And you can get such better results. Like, I am just floored by how good these, like, it's unreasonable. These are not real pictures. They are single monocular pictures. They do not have depth information embedded into them. How can this algorithm just decide that, like, and it gets it right most of the time too, which is just, like, AI, it should not be this high quality. Like, you should not be able to get this good of depth information from AI art. This is asinine. I don't even know. There's also a huge amount when it comes to physics that we haven't talked about. So like, once you have the depth map, you could start like throwing cannonballs at these things and stuff. Like, it's like, and see how they bounce off of these. Like, you can just integrate physics really quickly into this. I did something a little while ago where I used the depth map from like webxr to do that. And so you can just do that with like, like you can do physics on AI art now too. So I didn't do any cuts, but you also can do face cuts on like large size things. So that would remove all of these kind of faces that seem really smeared out. And it works in some areas really well. So something like a skyline, if you had a second skyline behind that, you could just kind of remove those and then it should kind of merge together a little bit more. But it doesn't work super well for things like forests, because then there'll be gaps in the forest unless you cover that up with more forest. Like, there's ways of kind of getting around it, but for the most part, it'll look weird either way. So like, cutting is not super high priority. Yeah, there's a lot of strategies for this, but like rebaking the textures and whatnot, that's another thing though. That's a separate stuff. I was completely unaware of midas. So like, I have done stuff with mono depth before. That's something that like I'm really interested in because it has really huge implication in augmented reality, but just nothing looked as good at this. And like, this is slow, so it's not something that you can use in real time at this, like with this particular model, but it's really good. And sometimes it's possible to do like offload that computing somewhere else. So like, if you have a few seconds, like depth is one of those things that if you're keeping your positional location, like you can record some of that. So it's not as important always to have real-time depth. Sometimes it is. So like, both of the algorithms are helpful, but yeah, to be able to kind of send your depth information away and getting a much better result is just, and it's still quick, like it under 10 seconds, like sub 10 seconds quick. So it's just not real time. And I haven't tried the smaller models either. Anyways, midas is ridiculous, and it works just, on like anything. I wanted to give a really big thanks to Thygate. I just wrote off this idea entirely. So this repo is amazing, and like, it does not have enough attention yet. It should have more attention. I can't believe this was something that came out 2 weeks ago and I didn't know about it. Yeah, big giant thanks. I just like didn't think this was possible, and it is very possible. Yeah, thank you once again. Thanks and have a great day.